Job Snip, who's who up on Black Power, family. What up? It's your brother in Google, now you see R-A-N-M. Once again, you're tuned in to R-A-N-M, RBG TV. And you know, we keep it G. Raw and uncut common sense for the common people. Dealing with the common issues, and you already know, you're trying to seek those common solutions. All in together now. Family, say it with me. You done heard me say it long enough. What's the method? What's the motto? What's the mantra? What's the motivation? What's the madness even? It's black love. You know why? Because black love is a cure for the black nation. So let's get it. Alright. Today, I quickly just want to take a moment out and address the nation, if you will, of America. 3Ks, don't get it twisted. To address overall white society, nonetheless. Right? And also to even address those who have whitewashed minds in the process, right? And we're basically going to briefly just speak on the topic of terrorism, right? So I'm gonna call today Terrorism, the Black Experience. I repeat, Terrorism, the Black Experience. The reason why I'm coming up with that title, this brief little dialogue today, is because that right there is the theme of the times right now. Terrorism, right? But of course, due to propaganda, due to the way that it's, produced and put on forefront for the masses, it's coming as if it's something new. It's coming as if this is something brand new from the spectrum called life, dealing with people, that is now affecting white people. That's basically the whole big shebang bang, the big ordeal. Terrorism, quote unquote, is now biting the hands of the feeders of terrorists. Translation: the political systems of the West are now being affected physically as well as emotionally with the same hells, the same bullshit, the same crap that is put out amongst the world for a very long time. Hell, since their entire existence has been on this planet. Before I go further, I want to read what the definition of terrorism is. You can get this from any dictionary. Terrorism reads as follows. Terrorism, the use of violent acts to frighten the people in an area as a way of trying to achieve a political goal. I repeat, terrorism, the use of violent acts to frighten the people in an area as a way of trying to achieve a political goal. Now again, family, we're talking about America here, right? Again, 3Ks, don't get it twisted. We're talking about the Western imperialistic system that's been running since the whole quote-unquote New World was established, right? What am I saying? I'm basically saying like this. White folks, you might want to get your shit together. White folks, you might want to revisit yourself, revisit the works of you and yours, and before you start opening up your mouth to the world stage, demanding that the world pay homage, that the world show sympathy to quote-unquote terrorism that is now affecting you, that has now hit your backyard as well as your front door. Again, history is best qualified to reward all research, right? Our greatest warriors have always told us that. Case in point, one of them are sitting right behind you. Brother Malcolm, right? History is best qualified to reward all research, right? So again, y'all might want to go back in time, look at your own damn things that you've put out, one, amongst yourselves, because let's be clear, white folks have a dangerous history of terrorism amongst themselves. But let's be clear, because they couldn't take it, because they didn't appreciate nor like the shit that they were doing to each other, right? The whole do unto others as others should do unto you vibe, right? They decided to start taking the shit out on other people. But of course, you already know, I am a voice, I am a face for my people, black people, right? Both universally within this whole globe, as well as right here in America, in the West. 3Ks, once again, don't get it twisted. So that's basically what my address is going to be about. It's going to focus right here in the West of America when dealing with terrorism. Let's be clear, family. Forgive my phrase for saying this, but the greatest victim of terrorism, the greatest recipient of terrorism here in America is that of black people. Let's not get that twisted by a long shot. By a long shot. From our initial captivity, right? Because you already know it's a double-sided issue when you're dealing with black people. You got the hells coming from the east dealing with the Arabs, almost up to 1,600 years straight dealing with them. Then they transferred it over to the Europeans, another 500 and counting dealing with them. You're talking about a people that's dealing with up to 2,000 years straight of hells. 2,000 years straight of torment, physical as well as mental and emotional. You understand? So now, again, from our initial captivity, our initial quote-unquote slavery, if you will, up until the present time situations, and in between, the KKK. What was they established for? What was their original purpose of the Klan for? To maintain white dominance, to maintain black fear of white dominance. Nothing more, nothing less. That was it. And they're still running until this very day. But the minute something happens to black people by these different institutionalized organizations, the Klan being one of the biggest, because there's many different splinter cells and this, that, and the third that all align with that same political goal or political agenda, right? When things happen to black people, when things that should outrightly be deemed as terrorist activities, this, that, and the third. When that shit happens to us, it's often swept under the rug. It's often said, being propagandized as, what's the big deal? It's just niggas. Now remember, family, the vibe that they're putting out amongst the masses in the public, it's backed up by their words. It's all on government record why they do what they do, why they feel what they feel. Remember, your ass, as well as my ass, in their eyes, are not even a full human, if you will, a full considered human. We're still considered 3/5, right? So they move in such a way. They don't want to reveal, per se, the inner workings, but they damn sure reveal by way of their actions. And then have the nerve to turn around and demand from the same ones that they have victimized time and time again. They demand that we, the victims, basically pay homage to them, respect them more and more and more. Again, once things happen on their doorstep. Case in point, this whole hoopla about this whole Paris shit, right? Now again, we're talking about white people here. Let's be clear. We don't have time to say the good ones or the bad ones at the end of the day, because when they deal with black people, we all niggas. So we gonna deal with white people as a whole. They all white folks. They all got their hands involved with it. Everybody's hands is bloody as far as I'm concerned. Right? There's no way in hell you can honestly sit here and demand that the world feels sorry for you when, again, you, white folks, you, Wazungu, you, Yorugu, are the world's problems. You are the world's terrorist. Case in point, you want to think I'm playing? Look at it this way on a military level. Look at any military map from the U.S. right now, and I guarantee you, if you look on that globe map, that world map, whatever, you're going to see that there are numerous military bases planted all around this globe, far and far away from the lands of the U.S., correct? What is the purpose? To once again maintain white dominance, maintain the fear of those other lands from those other people to that of white society. Period. Point blank. White folks are the world's invaders. White folks are the world's terrorists. Why? You think they're not terrorists because you don't see them with a bomb strapped to their chest, screaming Allahu Akbar or some shit like that? Because at the end of the day, let's keep it clear. That right there is the ultimate visual that has been created for a quote-unquote terrorist. Another prime example, this whole ISIS shit. You got everybody running around screaming about be scared of ISIS, knowing that ISIS was created by the hands of these white racist institutions, aka the CIA, aka the FBI, aka the Oval Office down there in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in DC. Yes, the White House, the terrorist palace. Yes, I said it. This is the origin of all of this shit right here that's going on right here in America as well as the rest of the world. You are the world's terrorist, so how in the hell dare do you do that? Do you undermine the plight of other people? Undermine the effects and the ills of other people, again, that you caused. But now, because it's coming home to roost, like Malcolm right here once again has told us, chickens are coming home to roost. Now it's a big deal. Now it's a big problem. Well, guess what? The same way that you have told black people time and time again, from dealing with slavery, from dealing with things like the destruction of our black Wall Streets during the Reconstruction periods in this certain time, as well as situations like the Birmingham bombing and back in '63, the Move bombing back in '85, right down the block in Philly, the Rosewood massacre that occurred twice in the month of May and the month of June of 1923. These are just small examples of the undermining that you all have put forth before the world dealing with black people. These are terroristic incidents, domestic terrorist incidents. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The military has this thing that they always like to say, we defend the country from terrorists, both foreign and domestic, this, that, and third. Well, if that was the case, there would be no U.S. military because you all perform in-house domestic shit. U.S. military will be no longer around. The U.S. Constitution, as well as all of these governmental legislations and this, that, and the third, would not be around. That would be eradicated because, again, that produces terrorism right here in America. So forget the rest of the world. And I mean that, when I say that, I say that, with sensitivity and everything that's going on out here in this world and everything. But let's be clear. Let's be crystal freaking clear, family. You can't turn a blind eye to right here in your own yard. You can't turn a blind eye to right here in your own areas. Because the minute that you do, you're going right along with the plan. Terrorism, family, is real. You don't need, again, you don't need necessarily to have the late breaking news cover it, because they're going to flip the script and word it the way they're going to word it anyway. So at the end of the day, we're talking about what we've experienced on an everyday life, every day of our lives, every day of our existence, post the force that brought us here. Because let's be clear, we were here first, right? We were here long before some European was. And we was doing our thing. We was rocking. We was living just fine. Next thing you know, white folks show up, knock on them doors, a.k.a. came to them shores, and it was all hell from that point on. So again, when you talk about terrorism, white folks, I suggest you really take that mirror and look at your damn selves before you even think to formulate your mouth to say the word. Because you're the origin. You are the base. You are the foundation throughout the world. Everybody likes to talk about this whole equality and equal playing shit, this, that, and the third, whatever. But there will never be equality until folks take accountability and responsibility for that which they have produced. White folks, that's for you. Period, point blank. That's for you. From the police, to the media, to the education, to population control, it all affects your mental ability, what you think on, how you're going to think for the future. And based on the trauma that black people have received time and time again, now you can understand why the minds are the way they are. But at the end of the day, our minds are the way they are because of the minds of the way they are. Because of the way these terrorists think and carry out their actions. All in the disguise of some God that got us, my people, you out there bowing down to. Meanwhile, you're bowing down to them, encouraging their terrorism. Think smart, family. It ain't hard. But in the meantime, between time, keep me locked, keep it G. This is RNM RBG TV. Black love is a cure for the black nation, so let's get it. Think smart and bang out.